Forgive me, Farter, for I have failed.
What is on your mind, my son?
I've been sitting on footage for over 6 months. I haven't posted anything on YouTube.
Have you at least ridden?
Yes, a few times.
Okay, that is acceptable. What else is on your mind?
With my lack of video footage. I've been sitting on it for 6 months and I haven't done anything with it.
Would, pray tell, this include any 360 footage?
It would, of the Mackinac Bridge.
By the KLR deities, what have you done? Your penance, my son, shall be to ride for 50 miles on whoop-de-doos.
Oh no.
You shall have to reinstall all of your farkles.
No.
Yeah.
Tell me how you been.
I'm all right, Bear. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. It's
Good
been
to see you over the holidays, but I do miss riding.
I do too. This winter's already hard. We got 3 more months.
Is it winter, though? I think we've had a little bit more going on than that.
Yeah.
And we've been kind of absent on our channel. And we do have some viewers that are asking, where the Brotherhood of the Bearded Pigs?
Yeah.
So,
Well, let's
do
give
an
an update. Let's give an update then. How's that sound?
sounds like a plan, Stan.
So you got to take the fall off. I don't know if you want to get personal or not, but
Let's just say the Road to Redemption had to be canceled due to medical advice. And we're still dealing with that. So hopefully I'll have a clean bill of health next month.
yeah. So I got to ask you, it was really your first year with the motorcycle. Like we grew up riding dirt bikes. This was your first year on, I'm gonna say, a street legal bike. What would you think, man?
I saw somebody riding a Ninja today to work.
Ooh.
So it was like 44 was the high today, but it was cloudy and rainy and just kind of a blah day. So he's got more dedication than I do, but he doesn't have the hour commute. But what did I think about riding is that I want to go out there and do it. I've got a few farkles I want to put on the bike,
Mhm.
and a few other things I wanted to do, but I'm afraid to go out and look at the bike because I'm gonna want to ride the bike. You know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
So out of sight, out of mind. Otherwise, I'm gonna be doing something stupid.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember last winter when I had the green bike, I got that out and I rode. It was in March. We had a little warming streak, and I rode before it stopped snowing. I don't know. There's like something about that spring. I always Braveheart, like at the end of the movie where he's like freedom. That's how I always feel every single spring.
After a Michigan winter, we all feel that way.
Yeah.
So as soon as it hits 45 degrees after February and early March, we're like, it's shorts weather or bike riding weather. So
yeah.
But speaking of March, I got something in the mail the other day, which reminds me I'm coming up to my 1-year anniversary of ownership of my first motorcycle. And they're asking me if I want to extend my factory warranty. So I thought this would be an interesting topic we could discuss.
Mm-hmm.
You, as a owner of 3 generations of KLRs, which are known for their reliability and inexpensive ways of fixing them, have you ever purchased the extended warranty?
I have not, and this is the first KLR with the fuel injection. So I might extend mine when it comes, to be honest with you. I think I'm going to take how much would it cost to replace a fuel injector and do that cost analysis if it's going to extend the warranty. That's the only thing I have a question mark about, to be honest with you.
I'm kind of curious if they know if it's a known fault with this model, with the Gen 3 model, the 22 specifically, if they'll do a recall on it, if it's something that they would cover if it goes bad. I guess I need to dig a little farther into my research on that before I make that decision, because that's my only major concern is that fuel injection.
Yeah, me too.
EFI module that has reportedly failed, although I don't know anybody in our groups that have actually had to have it done.
Yeah, even if it's 1 out of 2,000 bikes, I think that's still pretty good odds. So I don't know. To be honest with you, I just don't know if I'm going to do it or not. I'll kind of decide where we're at when time comes.
So other than that potential EFI failure, the big question that everybody's going to be wondering is, are you going to do the do?
No.
I wasn't planning on it either. Mainly because it's mainly a spring failure at this point, not the design of the actual doohickey itself. It's the springs. And Kawasaki's not going to change the design until they have enough warranty claims for something like that.
But the spring is so cheap that half the time when the do fails, people don't really even notice.
Right.
Because it just disintegrates. Not that that's good for the engine at all, because it's not, but it's just, that's, I've known people that going around for miles and miles with a doohickey that was shattered and they didn't even know it. So
yeah,
you get a really weird vibration, more so than what's normal. So
okay, thermal bob or anything like that. I'm not planning on doing any of that right now.
No. If we ever go on a road trip where the elevation changes a lot, temperature change a lot, I probably would consider it. But Michigan's not known for that very much, so I'm not really worried about the thermal bob.
No, I wasn't particularly worried either. And yeah, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
I did end up getting new tires, so I got the Shoshinko dual sport tires, so I'm pretty excited to test those out in the spring.
Good. I'm actually looking forward to being able to put more miles on my Dunlap Trailmax missions. I think I have my flat tire situation fixed, and after talking with the dealer I bought the bike from, I actually took my rim in with the tire and said, I didn't buy the tire with you, and I know you don't want to have anything to do with it, but I need you to check this rim for a manufacturer defect, because I had 5 flat tubes, or flat on this last trip I went on. He's like, 5? I was like, yeah, so please inspect the rim, please inspect the tire, see if there's anything that we've missed. I watched him do it, and he said, there's absolutely nothing wrong with this rim other than it's scratched up. I said, well, that's roadside tube changes. And what we did end up doing is putting a wider, thicker band over the spokes, and then put a rim lock on the to keep the tube or the tire from spinning, because it's such a rigid tire.
Yeah.
And I think my major fault was that is I just didn't have enough air pressure in my tubes. So for that tire, I think I need to go above the rated PSI.
Okay, that makes sense. Man, those tires were hard.
Ridiculously stiff.
Yeah.
How many miles did I go on that flat? It was still holding up until we started hitting twisties, and I was like, I got to stop.
Yeah. We started doing the Tunnel of Trees, and that's when
it was before we got to the Tunnel of Trees. It was between Mackinac City and the Tunnel of Trees. But
yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna say a good 5-10 miles, if not more.
At least. And I probably ended up doing highway with a flat too before I even realized I had a flat.
Yeah. But the rim held up, the tires held up. So
other than they were warm to the touch, but there was absolutely no damage to the tires.
That says a lot.
So
I might actually give those a try next time then, if you think that's what it was.
The only caveat to that is I'm not entirely pleased with the off-road capabilities of the Dunlap Trailmax missions, to be honest with you. When we were going down some of those gravel roads and it was a little loosey-goosey, little pebbly, or loosey sand, both Dale and I both had to slow down. You guys got mile and a half ahead of us by the time we got off that road onto the blacktop.
Yeah.
So we just looked at each other, nodded, and just full throttled it, and almost hit 90 by the time we caught up to you. So that was fun. But you were just, with those OEM tires, you were just oblivious. You didn't even notice.
I'm still not a fan.
I know, I understand that, but for certain roads, you're going to have to be more aware if you're switching from a more road. I don't want to say it's a road bias tire, but it's capable, but it doesn't do well in sand, as I found out that first day before you guys even got to the campground. Like really loose, deep sand. I didn't even know I was in trouble until I looked backwards after throwing up dirt everywhere. I don't know how I kept it on 2 wheels.
Yeah.
Fully loaded with all that camping gear. So that just goes back to the old experience growing up riding dirt bikes and knowing not to whiskey throttle it or hit the brakes too hard, and you just try to keep it going and keep your center of gravity where it needs to be, and I was able to save it.
Speaking of center of gravity, I didn't do a video on this, but I think I found my favorite Farkle for the KLR.
Is it a gyroscope that hooks up to between the forks?
No, almost though.
So
I'm not sure if you've ever seen these. And the video is probably reversed, but I got the IMS Adventure 1. Adventure 2. And they're, I don't know if you can see from the box,
they got that toe extension.
Larger profile with this right here. And so the reason why this is now my new favorite Farkle is you've known this for years, but my knees are just shot, right? So standing up on the factory default pegs, or even the higher cast iron pegs that I've had before, it's always been a challenge going down roads because you're always trying to do your balance, trying to do the shift, trying to hit the brake. Tell me, these are a lifesaver. I can't even put it how much these changed my riding ability. Like, it's like standing on ground. It's so comfortable.
Yeah. I have the IMS Super Stock pegs,
which are a little bit larger too, right?
Well, they're larger than the stock pegs, and they've been plenty for me. I always wear a rigid boot, so I don't notice anything. Maybe it's because my boots have a shank in them. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing. I can't really wear riding boots with it, but I've always wear my Baits or my Red Wings anyway when I'm riding, and those work just fine. But yep. I can't wait for you to try them, because you're gonna be like, this is either really incredible or this is really stupid, Jeremy. But I'm used to them now, so I love them.
Well, good. So since you brought those up, let's move on to those Baits, tactical 8-inch. Are they the zip ups or lace ups?
Zip ups. I think we have the exact same boot now.
All right, we both have the zip up Baits tactical. I do not have a composite toe. I don't think I need it, but how do you rate those as a dual sport riding boot?
Grip wise, fantastic. Ankle support, there's nothing. But I don't know if we're gonna do that really hard riding anyway, to be honest with you. So for me, they work out perfect.
I mean, I think it's got, it's better riding or ankle support than the Red Wings or my Air.
Yeah. Those are just swimming. So yeah.
Right. So I mean, it is a padded side that goes up, and again, if you're dumping the bike, if it's a bad crash, it's probably not going to save your ankle, but it will have some protection there.
Yeah.
And I ride if we're doing any kind of long ride, or we know we're going to be doing a lot of gravel roads or anything like that, I also wear shin pads with a knee that goes over my knee.
Yeah, that'll be probably one of my first purchases this year, is a knee pad and elbow guard.
Yeah.
So
good. Any other Farkles you planning on adding in 23?
I'm gonna do a switch out. So you guys know I've been a big fan of the Harbor Freight toolboxes, the stackable kind. Christmas present wise, my wife got me the home, I think she got it from Home Depot. It's the Rigid 2. I got a small one.
The Rigid brand.
Yeah, I like them because they actually have the capability to lock, and they're a lot harder.
They're a thicker gauge plastic as well.
Yep, harder, and they're also waterproofed. They have a waterproof seal on them, so I'm pretty stoked.
So good. I don't really have anything I want to do. I'm upgrading my GoPro set for sound. So one of my big pet peeves about our first season was not having good audio quality, not being able to have a discussion while we're riding or anything like that. So
yeah,
we are aware that the audio quality wasn't the best for our videos, and we are doing our due diligence to improve that.
So let's actually talk about riding this year. I gotta pack summer. I'm actually gonna be going up to Alaska, not for a ride, but for personal reasons. But what kind of adventures you want to go on this year together?
I'd still like to try to pull off Road to Redemption.
I'm all about it.
All right, I think that's going to be a great ride. Depending on, I'm going to try to allocate my vacation time more wisely than I did this last year. I think I ended the year with 0 vacation time. That's the first time ever that I've used all my vacation time, because we get paid out for what we don't use. So
Yeah.
Now that I have a hobby that's going to take up more of my time, I got to spend it more wisely. So
Yeah.
I would actually like to extend that Road to Redemption all the way up to Copper Harbor. But I think it's just a spectacular feeling to ride Fenner up to the top of Brockway Mountain and look over the little town of Copper Harbor and the vastness of Lake Superior and the lush forest that northern Michigan has to offer. So
I'm all about it.
You've actually done that ride before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Did that with cousin. So yeah, I'd love to do that. I think what I might end up doing for a longer ride like that, I saw a video where a guy actually took out the center of his seat because he was having tailbone pain, and I think I might actually start doing that. I might take the padding off the seat and rip out the center so the tailbone isn't getting all that pressure. So that might be a DIY video we'll be doing.
Okay. So, good. I was gonna say something, I can't remember what it is now.
Road to Redemption. So what other ride would you like to take a look at?
Well, recently in the Facebook group that we're admins in, the Gen 3 tribe, then a couple of people from Michigan popped up, and I think it'd be kind of cool to experience Southwest Michigan a little bit more. We did grow up as younger kids in Berry County, and that's a beautiful area to ride, I think. Maybe hit some of our old haunts that we had back down there. We do a burnout in Fuller Elementary parking lot or something.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I love that. That's kind of like my stomping ground. So whenever I go for a day ride, that's where I go.
Okay, because it's not that far from where you currently live, so that's good. Yeah,
but yeah, that'd be fantastic. I mean, invite pops to that one. That'd be good.
Right. Speaking of pops and road bikes, the Vulcan's going to be going bye-bye this year.
It could be. Not that I wanted to. I don't want to sell it. I love that bike. But the trip to Alaska is going to cost a pretty penny. And bikes are, I mean, I hate to say it, but bikes are a dime a dozen. So even if I sell it, I can get another one by fall, I would imagine. So
right. So, and my plan is, after the KLR is paid off, I'm gonna look into getting a used road bike, just because that commute that I've been riding would be a lot easier if I didn't have to take back roads, and I just don't feel comfortable doing really early morning commute on the freeway.
Yeah.
So
I don't like riding
all back roads.
I think you're gonna like it. I love the KLR, you know that, but man, there's something different about a street bike, a road bike. It's hard to explain.
But being the frugal person that I am, and I like small cars, and I like smaller, like KLR is the biggest bike I've ever ridden. So I do have an open invitation to ride somebody else's V-Star or Roadstar, whatever it is, and see if I get if I have a liking for it. I'm still thinking I'm leaning towards something smaller in the 650 to 900 cc range with the twin cylinder.
No. And the reason I say that is you're a taller guy, and those bikes are not made for taller guys.
Oh, what about the Royal Enfield 411 Scram? Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, it'd be fun for
not on the highway.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I'm gonna make sure I get a video out ASAP of the lost footage from the summer. Mackinac, going over Mackinac Bridge is pretty cool. Even if that's like a shorter video, I'll make sure we get that one up. I did get the GoPro 360, as well as I have the new GoPro 2, the one that you have. So I'm hoping to add maybe one more, so we'd have like a complete setup. So.
And if the weather's favorable, in the next coming weekends, I'd like to pull the bike out, maybe install those carbon fiber parts, get back with Dale at Heartland Dual Sport, and see if at least the front fork brake or the fork ABS cover works, and a few other things. So
Yeah.
and I might end up doing a larger case on the back.
I have some if you want some.
Yeah. Okay. I might keep that in mind. Not the Bowers though. That's a little too big.
The Bauer?
Your older cases, like your rigids, but the
Oh, you don't want those?
no, I don't want one that big.
Oh, for camping, they're amazing.
I don't know. I'll think about it.
Well, the thing is, though, with that awesome quick release thing that I had rigged up, I could go to a really small one within 2 minutes. So
Right. No, I'll keep it in mind. No, you got rid of your panniers, didn't you?
I didn't get rid of them.
No, I mean, but you took them off. You're not currently. Well, I'm sure you're using them, but for our moto camping adventures and longer rides, you did get a set of soft panniers, right?
So I did. I got the Rock Brothers cheap ones on Amazon. I don't know if I'm gonna. I also got the KLR Adventure. Oh my gosh, pannier racks from 3D Cycle Parts. I can't even think today, Chad.
Okay.
Sorry. That I plan on rigging those up. I don't know the quality. Obviously, I mean, what I want is not what I got, but I'm not gonna throw a lot of money into it until, maybe this fall or something like that.
The unique thing about that design is it clips onto your existing mounts. The pannier mounts, the OEM pannier mounts, those are designed to clip onto it.
Yeah.
To give you a backing for soft load.
I think my dream would be the giant loop setup, the big horseshoe. I think it'd be like a dream come true, but that's
might not be the Moscow Moto version, but come on, no, I'm not gonna say what I was gonna say, but yeah, no, that would be very nice. So
yeah.
That's an interesting thing that happens with KLRs. They're an affordable motorcycle that you tend to buy a lot of gear for and keep adding to it and keep adding to it. And I don't have a problem with that, but man, you got to be aware of what you really need versus, needs versus wants.
Yeah.
And I think my initial setup, I'm perfectly happy with it. Although I wouldn't mind getting a fork brace because we are large people.
Yeah. I'm finding it fun to play Tetris. I think I have the system down, so my camping system down. So filling the tent in, getting the sleeping system down. I like playing Tetris to the point where I'm hoping I could do away with a couple things, so I can only fit things in my hard cases. I think that'd be a nice thing to happen. I do like my little atomic bag, but it's for ease of use, it'd just be easy to unattach them and go for a ride. And
yeah, I hear you. And I've been thinking about just in general between that and some backpacking trips that have been proposed this summer. Just what do I normally use? And even on the moto camping trips, there's things I brought that I didn't use. And it's just a tendency. I have the space. You're going to want to put stuff into it. And I don't have a lot of ultralight gear that saves that space, and I don't plan on purchasing it because ultralight gear is very expensive. I guess, I mean, your sleep system, I just looked it up the other day, was only like $80, right? Your tent?
Depends on where you get it from, but yeah.
Well, the one Tigris.
Bungalow 2.
The
Bungalow 2.
Bungalow 2, yep, which is the trekking pole tent.
I'm actually going to try to not do trekking poles this year. So I did trekking poles last year, but I think I'm just going to use sticks. So that's going to be a challenge.
Assuming that we have sticks.
I have to find sticks.
Okay. I was actually looking at it because if I do any camping, I do have a tent. It did fit in my 40-liter motor atomic bag. So it's not a very large tent. But for some of the backpacking trips, we don't know if there's going to be accessibility for hammocks, especially with the group I'm going. So it'd be 5 to 6 people hammock camping. in a designated camping spot, and I think that could get a little tight. So depending on how the weather looks, I might end up upgrading my tent because it was free. So
Yeah.
I don't even think 0 mile mark is around anymore.
No. Yeah, I really like that the setup I have. I ended up getting a new sleeping bag last fall. So
Quilt.
you want
You
to do
got the
like
top quilt, didn't you?
I had the top quilt.
Yep.
The sleeping pad was those two
Oh, the
larger
pad.
ones. Yeah, were like R0. But I'm a I sweat when I sleep anyway. But I got a R4 rating on
Mhm.
a sticker pad. So I think it'd be kind of fun to do some early spring camping when it's usually quiet. So
Yes, and I'm thinking I'm gonna get a top quilt this year. So I'm doing my research on a couple different popular options, or maybe even not so popular, but popular in the backpacking community. Popular. But it's an expense I have to factor in at some point. So
I'm glad I got mine.
oh, I'm 100% sure I would love one.
Yeah.
So just the compressibility, the size reduction for the sleeping system, and the weight for when I go backpacking. Yeah. No, and the whole premise of that is, so the bottom of, because the quilts, for those who don't know, top quilts are, imagine a sleeping bag that is 3/4 of the way unzipped, but doesn't zip all the way up. Because when you sleep on a sleeping bag, your weight compresses the insulation and it has basically no effect. So as long as you have a decent sleeping pad or a hammock or something like that with an underquilt, where you just let the blanket drape over you, then you're insulated. Otherwise, your bottom is not in the quilt.
Yep. I never got cold ever.
No, and they're a great reduction in weight. And I think the Outdoor Vitals has they do a treatment on their down, so it's water repellent.
Which that came in handy.
Yes, it did. So one of the downsides to down is that it gets saturated and then it loses its insulating factor. So some companies do a hybrid system where it's a little bit of down, a little bit of polyester or treated, whatever they use, that offers you the same loft and compressibility as down. So, like I said, I've been doing my research.
Yep. Yeah. I think that's probably a wise thing, outside of Farkles. If you do any type of adventure bike camping, I think a good sleeping system is just a must.
It is. And if you do a lot of motor bike camping, I don't like, if it's favorable weather, you can get away with,
Minimal.
that 40-degree Coleman you can buy at any supermarket, and an old Coleman 4-person tent or 2-person tent or anything like that, or a hammock. You can pick up hammocks really cheap.
Yeah, I went camping with a wool blanket once. It was amazing. So
Camping with a what?
a wool blanket, very light and
Yeah.
packed down really nice. So
Yeah. It's just when you start getting into it, you start getting new things and you want to bring it all. That's why I decreased my backpack size from 90 liters to a 65-liter pack, because it forces me to be more aware of what I'm bringing. And unfortunately, I do not have the ultralight equipment that compresses down, so my sleeping system does take up a considerable amount of room. That's why I own 2 hammocks. One's for backpacking, one's for motor camping.
yeah. Well, if you ever want to borrow mine, let me know.
So, yeah.
Not an issue.
Anything else you want to cover?
No, I gotta get going shortly. So,
All right. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.